Hey everybody. As you can see, I am Lady Hippy at the bar. And yes, I'm still twitching and fidgeting. Glasses were so dirty I was embarrassed. And I also thought to myself, well, where'd that dirt go before I had glasses? It's always dirty. Is my face always a mess? We probably never know that one. Hey, glad to see everybody back. Y'all know this is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, I missed that damn good. So cracks me up. In any event, where is everything this morning? Oh, here we go. Yeah, yeah, I'm fidgeting. My teacup got broken by one of the kittens, the handle only, but that's the important part of the teacup, so you can pick it up. And I just haven't rummaged back through all the china. I had to get another cup out. So I've been using my lovely Savannah cups. Excuse me a moment. Mm, Irish cream. I'm only going to pop out here for a half hour today. I see that people missed me yesterday. I am sorry. We seem to still have this. I'm calling it the plague still. It still seems to be. It's like we'll get better, and then it comes back around again. And it's the kittens too. It's one or three, basically, of the cats and kittens. Yeah, we have that big a deal. Are getting this cold right now. Little Gizmo, I call her Gizzy. Um, just her. I saw her eyes because she's almost all eyes. It's just so cute. And I saw her eyes were looking funny yesterday, like they had a bit of a cloud underneath at the corners. And then this morning I got up and she was sneezing and sneezing. She sounded terrible. So I got the little cup out of the syringes out so I could chunk some stuff down her. She's been sleeping. When they're like that, I try to get them to sleep. Same I do with Miracle. Yeah, the one with the, I cut her throat and her arm off. It's amazing. She was amazing. But I had to keep her in bandages for about off and on for a week because the wound was surpating so bad, and she would just scratch it because, of course, we do that. We all do. I do it. Little spots where they've jumped on me to get on the bed or a chair or whatever. They use my leg as if it's part of the material, and they hook right in there. That puppy hurts when they do that, but if it leaves a little bit of a place, and I'll sit there and worry. And 3 weeks later, it's this gigantic crater or whatever. So I can relate. So I keep them pretty much in a medical coma when this is going on, and now it's hit my little Gizzy. Um, and my Pixie, she was the worst at first. Fancy, I can hear him breathing now, and Pixie's starting to do the sneezing again. It's like I can't get a handle on it between antibiotics and etc. But as you can all see, that's part of my problem this morning. I think we're going to turn this around, folks. I tend to run into it if I do that, I think. Yeah, that's a little bit better. It's too big for my hands. I don't know how they. This is why I always have. It looks like a cornet. A little headband on. I love this little set. I didn't take off my others this morning. I just wanted to try this on. Robert bought this for me. It's got the matching earrings. You can't really see. It's quite lovely. I like these little pieces that it gets me. So, didn't see anything I wanted to repel on the news today. So we won't go that route too bad. Um, I talked about Social Security getting stupid, and I managed to take back that near $200 for Medicaid. But again, we pay it all our lives, guys. You're not getting that money back when you get your Medicaid and Medicare. It comes out of your retirement Social Security. And just me alone, they wanted $174 a month from what? I'd have to try to spend $174 a month at a doctor's. And even then, they wouldn't pay for it probably because you get Part A and Part B. And they told me, well, you get it less expensive. Social Security, that's what they said. Everybody gets enrolled at first, and then you can see which plan A or B you can get smaller, and this, so you steal some more from the Social Security retirement checks of everyone, and you never get that money back from Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare. So you get your Social Security, they tell you how much. They don't tell you what your bottom line was as far as contributing to this fund that's supposed to be your money, like a bank. And then, like they've done to me, and I know if they did it to me, they'd do it to a bunch of people. Hey, you got to have Medicaid and Medicare. We enroll you automatically, so you don't cost us nothing, I suppose. But I was like, Jesus God, I didn't pay that for Blue Cross Blue Shield with full benefits. I got everything. I didn't pay that, and I thought they were a ripoff. So again, today's going to be kind of a monocast here. It's just me. I don't make any money. Hit the like if you saw it. Hit the share. Tickle the bell. Get a subscription. I'll tell you when the hell I got up here. So I didn't get in here yesterday. I did manage to get through Social Security rather quickly. I was the third person to be seen, so that's like sharp, I'll tell you. So they're going to take care of that. They're going to have it stopped because I my treatment is at the VA, and I already paid the VA for this. So no, I'm not going to pay $174 a month. You freaking lost your mind. And they would just, oh yeah, that's what everybody has to pay. Like it was nothing. When I said, where'd the funds go that they charged me my entire life for Medicaid and Medicare? They're two different entities and both were paid. Where's that at? Oh, they just do this to everybody. It comes out of Social Security. Well, yeah, I get that, bitch. She was good. She was good, but I was still angry, and I am still and shocked about the fact that they do this to everybody. Nobody stood up and said, "You can't freaking do this. I gave you the money for that shit." And on top of that, these some of these people are still on their regular insurance premiums paid and so forth, and they're using like Blue Cross Blue Shield still after their regular retirement, and then acquiring Social Security, which they have paid for. And so, even though they're buying insurance, the minute you get your Social Security and you hit the age of 65, I don't hit the age of 65 till next month. So they sent me the letter telling me we're going to take it out because we take your monies out to pay for it a month in advance. Oh. And of course, the very next day I was at Social Security. Well, I called that same morning or afternoon. And I was like, this doesn't make a lot of sense to us. We can't figure it out. Come on in. Well, okay. It's only about 5 minutes. It's not a big deal. And so we did. And they had me sign some stuff and they're going to stop it. It's a government program, so they don't know, forgive me, how long the hell they got until that money was taken out. Had they already taken the monies out? The letter said I had 5 days to refute whatever in writing, and I did that. And I'm letting them tell each other what to do. This is out of Cook County, Illinois, where I was supposedly birthed. It's not true. I was adopted. But they changed it to Cook County, and they forgot to delete other records, like the fact that I was born in DeKalb County. Yeah, I can't find that no more. I found it once, can't find it no more. And my ink was out and I couldn't print it. You finally go, screw it. I said for most of my life, at least pretty much most of my life, that I was Irish and Scottish and British. And I had that just on the money. And I believe that the true father or bloodline father was actually a spy of some kind. He married the birth mother or blood, I don't know how you refer to that. So, he married her under a cousin's name. Yeah. And she had two boys before myself and my sister. She had four children, two boys, two girls. Madam, hypocrites, every one of them. So, that's what I'm going to say about that. I could really rip it here. These people shouldn't even be on the planet. A waste of damn space. Cruel, ugly, awful people behind your back shit. Don't have the conviction of what they're saying and doing, so they run around and do it behind folks' back for decades. Because I don't act that way, so it didn't occur to me. So yeah, the DNA, my son had me test the DNA, and it was British. Exactly what I said it was. Red hair, green eyes. That was a given. It was just, it doesn't take rocket science. So yeah, I knew all that, but why the quarter sale? Well, I didn't. I go back to where I was researching myself, getting all this information after they found me. I didn't look them up. I had looked for some information. At that point, I think it was sealed until 2010. This was like the 80s, early 80s, which was still like, I thought, well, I'll never live to see that. My generation did not expect to live that long. And so we're exceptionally surprised that we're still here. I crack myself up. So, I check all this out, and then I find out his court order is sealed. And I actually went, my brother and I went to the orphanage, and it's a Catholic orphanage. So it's the nuns with the rulers kind of shit. So that's fun. Yeah, those are fun. Um, couldn't get any information, wouldn't release anything, wouldn't even admit I was ever at that orphanage. And I wasn't adopted till I was 9. And I always said my last name is Holmes. Nope. But I had found in one of my mother's old purses when playing dress up for Halloween a picture of myself and my sister in front of a Christmas tree. And I said, that's the courthouse. Because I remembered the tree too. And we were adopted right around Christmas. And it said Wanda and Sandra Holmes. Well, they changed my sister's. I don't know why. I'm sorry, they didn't change my sister's middle name, which was Dee. She had named her after, I believe, an actress at that time, or singer. And so they changed mine from Milani, which is more Hawaiian, to Lee because they wanted it to match. Just gotta love them. And we were still the girls that they introduced us. Those are the kids we adopted. So I spent longer here than I did in my adopted family's house. So, at 9, I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Before I was 13, I was in Ronsey. And yeah, I was getting the blazes out of there. And then they moved to Christopher, which was even smaller and worse. And I still couldn't go active duty. I wasn't even 17 at that point. And I had already graduated, and I was headed for a second graduation in high school and college. I was juggling both and a job. So yeah, that was a lot of fun because I just couldn't stand it. They didn't even people. They had a gas station. I kid you not. You can't make this shit up. They had a gas station and a post office and one little mom and pop store, which is about 3 blocks from my parents. It was a little cottage my parents got. I mean, a little cottage. It was one tiny little bedroom, no closets at all. Had to put string up, and mother put a curtain there, and that was their closet in this hole. And my sister and I were shoved into, I think, was the closet, 2 little tiny beds. Yeah, that's how I got to get out of here. So, he marries the mother under very strange circumstances. I ended up, the birth mother showed me a photo she had kept of the father. I looked just like him, just like him. My sister took after her. Of the boys, one, the Charles, the older boy, he and I look almost, yeah, we're siblings. With her, I mean, he's a half brother. She had different husbands. And then the other brother, who was 13, uh, resembled my sister, who resembled the birth mother. Charles, the other birth half brother, and myself shared the same type of red hair, green eyes, pale skin, and the same near bone structure for the face and so forth. And yeah, I looked at that picture. It's like, yeah, that's dead, all right. Showed me. I asked her, what's the picture of the cousin's name? Do you have a picture? She did. Looked completely different. Didn't look like any of her 4 kids. I gotta say, the boys, the youngest ones, both for me and my sister, she was younger. For the 2 boys, the other one was the youngest, resembled the sister and mother. The older ones, me and the 15-year-old Charles, we resembled the now defunct uh, father. There was no record of him ever anywhere in the United States. And I didn't actually let it go once the computers got better and all that. I tried using some search engines there because I was pissed off they closed the records. I guess they got pissed off at me because they then closed the records until 2060. They added another 50 years. So at this point, I'm like, why would you do that? This was after World War II, Depression, World War One. All that was going on at the time. I was like 12 years old or so. We were at Vietnam. So there was a lot of shit going on. And that's one of the reasons I believe he was probably some kind of a spy. He had to have been British because I'm British. The 2 older, I don't know if he ever did the DNA. I don't know if the sister did, or I don't know if any of them did, but my DNA, which is from the maternal, and they actually put some of the paternal in there and explained that. But yeah, there's no way he could have been American unless he was 4th or 5th generation. Like, then you would have the DNA come down, but it'd be real watered down a little bit. So yeah, that's the story of my background in a nutshell. So I was like, okay, let's get this rolling in here. And all that Social Security mess got it straightened out, like I said. So those of you who are on Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare, Shout out, ask them where the hell your Medicaid monies and Medicare monies are and why are they taking it from your retirement. It should be on the Medicaid and Medicare accounts that you paid for your whole working life, and it's not. And they press you to sign as if, oh, that's okay. It's not okay. It's not even. And what in God's name cost $174 a month for premiums or whatever the hell they call this? It's theft. It's beyond theft. It's in your face. I'm scoring you running a third time. The other two is big time Ponzi schemes as well. And we're not going to, you get at least a tenth of your Social Security money's back if you live at least a decade. Yeah, do the math. I don't care. But the Medicaid and Medicare, and now they're even more expensive than when they were taking it out, are just, I don't know what they are. I really don't. I'd love to know. And I think that a lot of you out there are paying these funds. And my husband is, and he can't even be seen until it was August, I think, the 15th, because his neck was bothering him. And he'd already beat stage 4 cancer for his neck and throat. And so, he's paying all these funds, $1,200, $1,500 a year, and he hasn't even seen a doctor in 3 years. So where's that 3 grand gone to? So if you don't use it for a year, why isn't that being reaccredited to your account when it shouldn't have been coming out of your account at all? Not only are these Ponzi schemes, but they're in your face, got your shit Ponzi schemes, and we can get away with it Ponzi schemes. If everybody out there doesn't mind, just say so. I'm absolutely curious at this point that I have never heard this problem before. And it's not like I don't have friends who are retired. And even with my husband, I tried to ask him the same questions. I was like, well, where's your funds from Medicaid and Medicare? You paid all your life. Where are those funds? I don't know. They just take it. It's automatic. Well, they tried that with me, and that didn't work, did it? It wasn't 24 hours, and I was walking that shit back. And so were they. And I know they didn't like the fact that I asked, why are you taking it from Social Security retirement funds? Why aren't you taking it from Medicaid and Medicare? They might not have as many for X amount of time, but why isn't that being applied? Where's the money back? This is what you had to do. Uh-huh. What I got to do is everybody wake the hell up and say, you can't steal from me anymore. Everybody should be up in somebody's grill going, use that shit you Ponzi schemed out of me for 50 years. Don't take that shit out of my Social Security. You don't take enough out of my Social Security. You don't decided what I would and would not get without telling me what I had accrued for 50 years of working. So the Medicaid and Medicare, keep giving it to them, folks. You can't make this shit up. I'd like to be able to. I really, really would. Because again, it astonishes me that I have yet to see a podcast about these type of things. Everybody either has a parent, a grandparent, somebody who's already working with Social Security. And it's not security, folks. They make it this thing that's, I forget what they call it, but it's like it's not your right to get it. It's just their grace to give it to you. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if I had taken the monies from those 3 organizations and put them into separate bank accounts and rolled that puppy over in there every week, I'd have $100,000. Do the math. I'm not good at math. I got a calculator here. So, oh yeah, the Chromebook has one. And of course, you can't. I really wanted to buy somebody's face off, but I got to admit, my local office did very well when I called them. This was, like I said, coming out of Cook County. Again, this is where all the craziness is. I don't even know what that's about. I do know before they replaced it that DeKalb was where I was from, and I had to have a new birth certificate. That's why I had seen this. So, why was Cook County involved in my retirement plan? Why was Cook County involved in my Social Security paying Medicaid and Medicare? Plans A and B, hospitalization, and medication. So they're going to make damn sure that you got a couple $100,000 in the bank so before you die, so they can go ahead and pay that, I guess, hospital. That's what it says. Again, did not ask. Nobody does, and they give it to you automatically, and they automatically deduct it from funds you've already paid for, and they don't use the funds that they got for those two entities. There should be a lot of people out here screaming, "What the?" Look at your plans. If you're seeing me, look at your stuff, and if it's coming out of Social Security, you need to get a hold of your representative and find out why the monkey is taking your money and why they've been doing that for 50 odd years for every one of us that retire at 65, 64. And I've only been on it, I think, since March of this year. And already, and they do it because, and this is the thing I love, because it's when I turned 65. So apparently there are people on Social Security before they're 65 for some time, because I was like, what, 5 months or something? And they take that out of your check and they send you a letter that says you can refute that by mail, handwritten. And you have 5 days from the date on the letter, because they assume, and this is actually in the shit, I'm telling you, this is what I'm reading on this thing, that you have 5 days to respond in writing, because we feel that 5 days is all that needs to be done and accounted for by post. I got the thing like 10 days after they posted it, not five. And had it been five, I still wouldn't. So not only do they do this shit to you automatically, they don't give you any time to do anything about it either. They're doing this shit, and they know they're thieving. They know flat out they're thieves. That shit should not be rolling out of your retirement, folks. Not to mention, I've said before, they're not even supposed to tax wages, which is why they hated Donald Trump, because he wanted to take the tax off wages. Do you know how many bings a second that's generating? Free hell. What I want to know is how come they're all allowed to be thieves? And when did that shit start? Well, I'm thinking from the beginning. Like I said, I was adopted in my family. My dad served in World War II, was a hero, Pearl Harbor. Yeah. And he hated Roosevelt. We put all these things into place. It was his administration that did this. Remember, the only three-time president ever gotten would be who? That's right, Roosevelt. The second one. Not Teddy. Franklin. They took all the gold from everybody. If you got gold, you got to bring it in. They even took gold earrings and gold necklaces and gold wedding bands. I mean, it was your jewelry. They took it. They apparently went house to house. I don't even know. But my mother was telling me about it, that they'd lost their wedding rings because they asked where their wedding rings were. They didn't have it. Mother had no jewelry. No. Dad didn't either. It looks like I'm dripping with them, right? No. I have a lot of real jewelry, but these little pieces that he buys, you can usually wear them once or twice, and they're quite lovely. And then they tarnish or whatever. And I like Wish, the program, or the site. Wish it's got a lot of neat stuff, and my husband buys me stuff from there all the time, like this gown. It's floor length. It's got the repeating pattern at the bottom, and I love it's just off the floor, just off the floor. My new my new house shoes were delivered yesterday too. I, I ordered them from Walmart. Didn't go, just ordered them. We're actually considering being a Walmart pluser because then delivery's free, and I could just go to town on that. Thinking about how much gas I'm saving by not going, and I don't spend as much usually because I'm not there going, oh, that's a good price or whatever. So my husband likes the big one. So I'd like to hear some feedback. Throw out the comments. I left Top Chat up. I didn't do live chat this morning. I'm going to be in a bit of a hurry. So throw in there if this is happening to you. If it is happening to you and you don't really want to fight City Hall, that's understandable. You should still contact your Social Security office, Medicaid, Medicare, whoever, to find out why it's being billed to you or just taken from you for you to see it. And get ready for those taxes at the end of the year, guys. I tax that shit when you got it, when they got it from you. Excuse me. And now they're going to tax your ass again. because they give us some of it back. I understand Britain is worse. It didn't seem so bad when I was living over there. Might have been. Everything was expensive in Europe, you ask me. But I was in and out of Texas at that time. Texas doesn't have state tax, gas tax, food tax. Georgia has two on food, on just food. The state, you got to pay county, city, state. Don't forget, you got to pay the school tax. Do you have kids in that school? No. Well, you live by it, so you got to pay those. There are so many freaking Ponzi schemes going that the government's doing. It's just not funny. I'm talking billions an hour, probably. It's being taken from every man, woman, and child in this country. I don't know about the rest of you, but I didn't think it was right to give away an Air Force base, a bunch of helicopters, everything that went with it. Well, I killed 3 of our soldiers for leaving it. Benghazi isn't talked about yet. 3 men were murdered there, and they held up for hours. They were murdered there and were being paraded out in the streets naked when an ops team went in to get them, and they were not our military. They were not. They were prior military. They were all veterans because they kept telling them they couldn't go. And finally, they disobeyed the orders of the company they worked for and got them. That's the same ones that Hillary, during her cross-examination to Congress about said event, said, "What does it matter now?" Parents have no closure of what happened. These were not old men. She came up with, there was a video that got pissed off about. No, it wasn't. They made that clear too. She just cleaned that stuff, with not a hammer on those black. Walked away with it, didn't get nothing. Just like this Hunter Biden thing in his laptop, done had that bitch since 2016. They getting him in court about a gun. Might have bought it from that laptop. Anyway, some food for thought there. I still support Israel. I hope that the rest of the people that see me and are talking to me also support them. These are the last. It is the only democracy in the Middle East. It's the only one. And by the way, folks, they consider them little Satan. They consider us big Satan. How many people are in a burqa when you go to the grocery store now? Yeah, we all notice that shit. How many of them are living in tents? Yeah. How many of them are on smash and grabs? New York City had a Target and a Costco. That's all that was left. All the high-end stores are gone in New York City. Then Target left a few weeks ago or a month or so ago. Only Costco is left. They're doing and they come in with these big bags. The cops are just standing there, and they go through and they fill it up with food, sheets, or whatever they can find, and they go back out. Nobody lifts a finger. And if they did, and they were at first, they would just run it through the system. There's no bail. And they put it down as a misdemeanor. So it's like jaywalking. What did they think was going to go with that? They go right back out to the sidewalk where their tent is, and they sell that shit. Because they can't afford that $1,500 closet to call an apartment. New York looks really bad. Seattle looks really bad. Austin, Texas looks freaking awful. This is why I think most people want to vote for Trump. I, again, know that it doesn't freaking matter who you want to vote for. It's voted in by the Electoral College, but they're representing your vote, which has not been done yet. So I guess they're all freaking psychic. I've given you a lot to chew on. So I'll probably get out of here real quick. My hubby has offered to fix brunch, and I'm not turning that down. So after y'all chewed on those for a little while, get back to me and look for yourself and find out if there's not a particular clause in the Bill of Rights that states you cannot tax a person's wages. And believe me, you will find it. And then you can be your own attorney and you can stop them from taking your money because you're not getting it back. The Medicaid and Medicare must go straight to their salaries because it's not there for people to be charged from. They charge you Social Security. And on that note, I got to go. I got a timer up here. Have a great day out there, guys. As always, love you guys. Please, for the sake of the channel, hit the like, do something up there. I don't make money doing this, but it's not a bad thought. Toodles. I get that going.